Hi guys, this is Donald Jackson and you're watching Poor No More. Today we're going to go to North Hennepin Community College to watch a classroom that are going to be doing public speaking. Dr. Stacy Fitzpatrick's classroom is also the classroom that I am in so that I can better my speaking talent. So she's going to help us get through that. And today we're going to show some of the other classmates that are doing some speaking as well. The first one that we're going to show is Todd. Todd is acting as a coach for the Minnesota Twins. Very, very good speaker. We'll be right back. Here's Todd.
Hello, my name is Todd Tyson. I'm the head coach of the Minnesota Twins. I'm here today to talk about the team's success through the first 50 games of the 2015 baseball season. It's much better sitting here today to talk about our ball club winning games than it has been the past few years. Today I'm here to discuss the key components on why we are leading the division with 30 wins, 20 losses, 50 games into the 2015 season. The key components have been the positive attitude the team shares with one another, early scoring to begin games, and our bullpen staff closing games out. We are 1/3 of the way through the season and pleased with how we are playing. The guys have bought into the system very well. The positive attitude as a team is veteran players mixed with younger players. The guys really enjoy playing with each other. We feel that we can win every game that we put our team out on the field to play. Veteran leadership has helped keep things loose with Torrey Hunter, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer, and with our pitching staff, Glenn Perkins. Early run production is a key to our winning. Leading the American League in runs scored in the first 3 innings of games has been a key component. Brian Dozier gets the team going with the top of the order with 41 runs scored, leading the American League. The bullpen is doing well, closing games. The setup men are doing their jobs. With Glenn Perkins as the anchor, closing out games, he is 19 out of 19 in save situations. And we lead the league as a team with 21 saves. I will now accept questions from the press. Yes, sir.
Do you feel that your opening series is too dependent on Dozier?
The opening of the games? No, we feel like Brian does a good job, but also we have Torrey Hunter, Joe Mauer, and Plouffe in the 4 spot that leads us also. That's why we lead the American League with runs scored, is those guys are productive as well. Yes, sir.
What are your plans with Santana when he gets off his suspension?
It's a great question. Irving Santana, once he comes off the suspension, he's always been a part of our team. He's going to have to work hard and participate in all of the drills that we have, and he's done that very well. He's going to have to earn his spot back, even though he's projected as our ace. We are playing very well right now, and we feel like we don't want to stop that momentum, but he is a welcome addition to our team, and he will be much needed. Yes, ma'am.
Now that you're doing better, will there be more prizes? Because I never get a t-shirt when the t-shirt ran in.
Well, the t-shirt cannon, I mean, that's a wonderful question. It's something that I personally enjoy. We sit in the dugout and actually tell TC we give him the nod to see if he can't get it in the upper deck. The giveaways, however, I can't control. That would be something that we did have to take up with marketing, and we can do the best that we can do with that.
Our second speaker might be a little nervous, but you would not know it. She's going to get through this thing, and I'm going to tell you about anxiety. We've learned how to be able to understand anxiety and how it can stop us or hinder us in our speaking. But I tell you, Rachel, she got through it just great.
I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Butler, and I'm here on behalf of the United Nations Environmental Program. Here to inform you of recent information on the unfortunate loss of 120,000 saiga antelopes in Kazakhstan this May. Scientists have not yet exact cause of the death, but they have stated it could very well be contributed by two factors, both environmental and biological. At the request of Kazakhstan, the Convention of the Conservation of Migratory Species, animal species, dispatched an emergency mission with experts from the Royal Veterinary and College to go onto the ground to do post-mortem analysis. From that, according to the information that they have received from the CMS, or the Conservation of Migratory Animal Species, it is clear that two secondary opportunistic pathogens have contributed to the widespread decline in the population. Another contributing factor for the mysterious deaths could be the environment. At this time, I will be taking questions from the press. Any more questions?
Could we see similar results with the farming and the chemical use in other countries?
Yes, possible chemical pollutions, such as like the ones that have been found in Central Asia, could happen in any country and could possibly lead to something like this. That is all the time I have. Thank you for your cooperation.
Our next speaker is a very energetic guy. He's know his stuff. Guys, here's Tyler.
Good morning, my name is Tyler Cutts. I'm speaking on behalf of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, or NIAID. I'm here to talk about the results of a recent trial we funded on antiretroviral therapy. First, I'll tell you about the trial, and then I'll tell you about the results, and we'll open it up for questions at the end. The study answered the question of whether early treatment of HIV was not only effective, but if it would occur some long-lasting results. You may think that early treatment is common sense, but the study was needed because the World Health Organization recommended giving patients treatment for HIV only after their white blood cell count, or CD4 count, fell to less than 200 microliters per microliter of blood. A normal range is between 500 and 1500. They recommended this because of fear of overtoxicity of the body. Too many drugs, or too much of a drug in the body. The study started back in 2009 and observed more than 4,500 patients from 215 sites in 35 countries. The patients in these trials all had CD4 counts over 500 and have not received treatment before for HIV. After random selection, they were split into two groups, and the first group receiving treatment immediately, and the second group receiving treatment only after the CD4 counts dropped below 350. All the patients were observed for an average of 3 years for any long-term side effects or any major infections. Now, the results were very clear. The analysis revealed that early treatment cut the risk of serious illness or death by 50%. That includes the development of AIDS. Trial co-chair Lenz Lundgren said in a statement that this is an important milestone for HIV research. There's still a lot more we can learn from the data, so we will continue to analyze it in the hopes that we can help more people. I'll open it up for questions now.
Now, since you guys are opening up for more people, is it going to be more affordable? The medication?
At this time, it's the same treatment that's available, we're just administering it earlier.
Okay, so the price hasn't changed.
Right, yeah, it's the same treatment, it's rather when it is administered, whether earlier or waiting. But the concern was that overtoxicity of the body was why they wanted to wait. But we've determined that there is no long-lasting effects, and there's actually a benefit to administering right away.
How will you know when to administer the early on drug for this?
You can actually measure the white blood cell count in blood by taking a sample, and you can tell a normal range between 500 and 1500, and you can actually This test concludes that administering it when you detect HIV is the best possible scenario.
What are you guys doing to make the public aware of what you're doing right now?
This test was actually supposed to conclude next year, but the results were so clean cut that we decided to publish it. It's only been published in the last couple of days. So there's still more press needed to get the word out.
Clearly, to administer it early, you do need to reduce the social stigma of people, identifying as having HIV, or being HIV positive. So, are you suggesting that they should begin treatment as soon as they get tested and find out that they're positive? And if that's the case, how do you encourage people to get tested?
Ongoing HIV research is also eliminating a lot of that stigma. You can put more knowledge out there and make people more aware. Originally, people were scared to touch anybody with HIV, but now, I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, there's a poster with a drop of HIV positive blood, and it states that HIV cannot survive outside the body for very long. And it's yielded amazing results. People are not afraid as they were, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Whereas now it's treatable, it's preventable. So I'd like to thank you all for coming today. If you guys do want more information, please go on the National Institutes of Health website. That's nih.gov.
And here's yours truly, Donald Jackson, stepping up to the plate. Hello everybody, good afternoon. My name is Donald Jackson, and I'm excited to be here. I am speaking on behalf of the Minnesota Department of Education and recent activities to provide programs for youth with special needs. I like to call them fresh feet, which means people with fresh and different abilities due to their special needs. 1 in 5 families in the United States, 20%, is caring for youth and young adults under the age of 21 that has been diagnosed with special needs. All types of special needs, there's over 19 has been identified, from Down syndrome to autism to muscular dystrophy. Does anyone in the room has or know of a family member or relative that has a special need? Thank you. So you can understand where I'm going with this. My overview. Currently in the Northwest community, there is not any programs after school designed to help the special need community. Our mayor announced that they are looking at providing programs for school kids after school. President Obama launched his campaign to initiate an after-school program, My Brother's Keeper. The mayor was asked to go to California to meet with national leaders representing projects that were geared to after-school program for all youth. But I was not finding any programs for youth with special needs. My conclusion, after-school programs and after-school program families create social persons, and they have a lot to look at to make a difference in our community. So we need after-school programs for youth. And I will take any questions that you may have right now. Any questions? Yes.
Do you have an idea of what types of programs you're seeking or are in development?
Yes, there's some models that are out there, but they're in other states, and then there are after-school program that teaches, homework, cognitive skills, physical therapy, speech therapy, helping the young people to enhance what they're getting in the daytime school hours. Yes.
Are these programs gonna cost the families or cost the taxpayers?
Well, there's grants out there, there's the fundings that are being placed to offset the cost. Most families that have special need youth have a waiver program, so they have PCA dollars that will be allocated for taking care of the youth while on site, but for the most part, the programs will be free. Yes.
If almost half of the room raise their hand when you asked if they knew a child, had someone in their family had a special need? How come it took this program so long?
Well, that's a question I've been asking for some years now, but people are starting to recognize that there is a strong need, but it takes more people to speak up to initiate that need. Yes.
What efforts will be made to ensure that the availability of the program is equitably distributed across both economic and racial lines?
Well, it's demographics where the locations of the facilities will be. Right now, they are looking at Brooklyn Park as being one of the first locations of this particular model. One more question? Thank you very much for your time, and let's make a change.
He's talking about the issues around Texas and how the flooding affected Texas. So here's Matt.
Hello everybody, thank you for meeting me here today. My name is Greg Abbott, I'm the Governor of Texas. I've called this press conference to discuss an environmental disaster that has been occurring in the state of Texas over the past 2 weeks. 27 are dead, 10 are left missing. However, as of yesterday, as a state, we have decided to officially end the search component and have began the recovery component of handling this environmental crisis. CNN stated yesterday that enough rain has fallen in the past 2 weeks to at once cover the state of Texas, the entire state, all this landmass, in 8 inches of water. Also, it's important to note that in the state of Oklahoma, 4 are left dead in similar flooding events. Through this storm cell, it has spawned tornadoes, including a twister that ripped apart the Mexican city of Ciudad Acuna that borders Texas, killing 13 people. This recovery component will not be easy. Altogether, it's expected that it will cost $45 million to put the state of Texas back where it was before the flooding has occurred. This statistic has been given to us by the Harris County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. 25 of those $45 million will be used to repair public utilities and infrastructure. $15 million to remove debris from places such as aqueducts and flooded neighborhoods. And then another approximate $4.5 million in damage to buildings and equipment. During this flooding, in the Houston area alone, 4,000 properties have been damaged. 2,500 vehicles were left abandoned when the individuals that owned them had to leave them to get to higher ground. However, many businesses have been extremely helpful. People are offering their services next to no charge, free or next to no charge. In conclusion, the state of Texas is working its way out of a devastating environmental disaster. 27 are dead, 10 are missing. However, us Texans are built strong. We will stand to face this adversity through hard work and dedication. Now is the time to lend a helping hand to those citizens and communities affected the greatest, and remind your loved ones how important to you they truly are. Thank you. Are there any questions?
You stated that the $45 million is what you plan on using to help restore Texas, correct?
Yep.
Will that money be coming out of the Texas government or taxpayers?
It'll be coming out of both. It'll be coming out of the government and the national government, actually, because we declared a disaster in 37 counties in Texas specifically, and when you declare an environmental disaster in different counties, you get funding through the national government, as well as it will be coming out of taxpayers from Texas.
Which area would you say was hit the hardest?
Central to southern Texas was hit extremely difficultly. It's not a word.
What comment do you have on Texas representatives requesting money from the federal government when they had so recently criticized federal funds being given to New Yorkers after Hurricane Sandy?
I cannot answer that question at this moment.
Governor, have you personally visited some of the areas that were affected?
Yes, I have. Me and my team have gone through the most affected neighborhoods and have done what we can to give a helping hand and offer condolences to those families greatly affected.
Is Texas gonna put in better evacuation plans and emergency responses due to this in case it happens again?
Yes, we do plan on looking, we actually had flooding problems last year too, summer to 2014, but to no extent of this. And yes, we will be planning on gathering information on how to better handle this event if it occurs again in the future.
Do you think that the budget that you set will cover all of the effects that this rainfall has caused, or do you think you'll have to raise the budget even more?
We think this is a very strong estimate, and we don't expect to, at this point, have to raise the budget any greater than it's already been. Any more questions? Well, thank you for my time. Keep Texas in your hearts.
Our next guy is Ola, and he's going to talk about some very important things.
Hi, my name is Ola Somfon, and here representing the St. Paul Police Department regarding an incident of the police, of the stabbing that occurred on the 6th on May 4th, 2015. I will be giving details and open for questions. A 48-year-old woman with a history of drunken violence was charged Monday with fatally stabbing her boyfriend over the weekend during a confrontation in his apartment. She then made a bed for both of them and slept next to his body on the kitchen floor. Sherry Anderson of St. Paul was arrested Saturday, and Anderson was stabbed in the chest. His boyfriend was stabbed in the chest with a knife on the depth of about 5 inches. According to the Ramsey County Medical Examiner, Hillary was pronounced dead on the scene. The criminal complaint, the police explained because he doesn't want him to go. That was the reason why he didn't call the police on time. So, and shortly before 1 p.m., a cousin called the police department and told them Hillary was dead. Officer arrived and removed the body. I think I stabbed somebody. That's what she said. Upon investigation, police found out that Anderson had previous criminal history. With regards to this incident, I will be entertaining questions from the audience. Yep.
So what is the police department gonna do about domestic violence in the home? Because I know that there are like some policies set up, like some unknown policies, like 3 strikes and then someone gets arrested. What are you guys gonna do about that to prevent things like this happening?
Oh, the police department have had, they don't really take domestic violence so easy and so simple. They don't let it slide by. So we will have to be our brother's keeper just in case we find that, somebody's been violently handled in whichever way we should allow the police as soon as possible. So, any other question?
Am I correct in understanding that you said that the suspect admitted guilt?
Yes, he admitted to that.
So will there be a trial, or will it just be sentencing?
He has been convicted of murder, and now he's serving a jail time of 40 years in prison by the Ramsey County. So, is there any other question?
You said that the person who stabbed the other person said, I think I stabbed somebody. Is there any indication of alcohol or drugs involved?
Yeah, alcohol was involved because they were pretty, drinking all night, that kind of thing. They were having fun, and they were drunk to the extent that they were passed out. So alcohol played a predominant role in this incident. Is there any other question? So, without any other question, it's my pleasure to thank you for coming. That's all I have for today. And if you have have any other question, any more questions, you can contact the St. Paul Police Department on 612-444-8000. Reference from Star Tribune. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Vincent, and he's a very charismatic person. So guys, take a look at Vincent.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vincent, a federal agent from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I'm here as a spokesman of the agency to talk about why, as an agency, we allowed Knowlton to bring the black rhino carcass in the U.S. Mr. Corey Knowlton had traveled to northern Namibia with a mission to conserve the black rhino population. Following the approval and then request of the Namibian government, on May 20th, Knowlton hunted and killed a male black rhino that was considered a threat to the herd. The animal was too old to breed, and but it was so aggressive. It had already killed calves and other male rhinos. So as a federal agency, we noted that the killing of the old bull was necessary to increase the rhino population. We therefore gave Mr. Knowlton a green light to bring the carcass and add to his collection, considering this as a conservation hunt and not a trophy hunt. We are encouraged by your petition letters that reflect your concern for the wildlife, and we reassure and remind all Americans that our agency exists to protect all endangered species from interior and exterior harm. Our mission will continually be reflected through our support for similar cases. And thank you for your time, and I now open the floor for any questions if any. Yep.
How do you know that the old bull was a danger? Was it just his word, or did you have other people verify it?
No, it was the Namibian government and their wildlife services that gave us that information. So it was not Norton's information. Yes. Anybody else? Yes.
Do you think there could have been another alternative aside from killing?
We believe yes. Every country has the alternatives they use in such cases, but in this case it was Namibian government that decided that's the process they wanted to do, and plus there were some funds that were given to the country to help them in the conserving of endangered species. Yes.
So will the man who killed this rhino be permitted to keep anything as a trophy? Because I think that sort of promotes the wrong value.
True, he will be allowed, but as an agency, when we were considering the case, we were looking at the mission that took him there, which was the conservative hunting, and so we didn't find a good reason to not grant him that privilege of bringing the horn and some of the skin to the U.S. Yes.
So just to clarify, this was a mission to conserve the black rhino population
Yes.
instead of just a trophy?
Yes. Thank you.
What's to stop them from trying to sell those on the black market?
Right now, we know he will just bring that and he'll put it in his collection. And in case that happens, maybe that's when, as an agency, again, we can step in to make sure that doesn't happen.
You
Yes.
said that you couldn't find a good enough reason to let him take the home, like the carcass as a trophy, but isn't it illegal to hunt rhinos and for trophy assets, or?
Yeah, this was a conservative hunt. It wasn't a trophy hunt.
So if it wasn't a conservative hunt, how come he got to bring it?
Yeah, we allowed him to bring the horns back to the U.S. and that was the concern of the public. Thank you for your time, and continue in the same spirit of minding about our wildlife. Thank you.
And you have been here with us in public speaking, Dr. Stacy Fitzpatrick's classroom. here at North Hennepin Community College. Thanks guys for stopping in. We'll see you soon.